Hi guys, it's me. I'm back. Hi guys. Today, you guys, I come to you again with some delicious homemade fried chicken and mac and cheese. Yum yum. And I homemade some chicken egg rolls. You guys know I'm super hungry. I haven't really eaten much today. I saved it to do it with you guys. And I wanted to go over some things with you guys. It's going to be another off-topic day. But let's get into this food and we'll talk. What are you guys eating? Grab your snacks. Grab you some mac and cheese. Come eat with me. That's really good. You guys want a bite? I hope you guys can see me good enough. Let me adjust that camera so you guys can see me. May not be able to see these good eats, but know they're good. You guys do not put I'll just have some water tonight. No pop. Sometimes you gotta lay off the soda. Tonight I don't really want any. I put barbecue sauce and ranch on the plate. Normally I would eat sweet chili sauce with my egg rolls, and I'm so mad. After I made them, I was like, oh my God, where's your sweet chili sauce? And I realized I didn't have any sweet chili sauce, but anywho, I'm substituting that. With barbecue sauce, I guess. And the egg rolls are chicken and cheese. And then I did mac and cheese and chicken egg rolls. Can you see that? We got mac and cheese in there. Y'all seen that crumple? I told you it was feeding that shirt. Can you guys see me good? I hope so. Probably a little better now. Told you guys before I like picking my chicken apart. I just like biting right into it. Sometimes. No, that's right on time. I'm not even gonna lie to you. No veggies today. No veggies today. Y'all want to bite? And I'm personally one of those people. Give me a minute, he goes these drinking eyes. I'm personally one of these people that like to fry my chicken hard so it crunches. You might with some barbecue sauce. We cleaned our little piece of chicken. And I say, cleaned that little guy, ripped in half. I ain't gonna be slugging on no bones or none of that. And this is, that one's sharp too, it broke in half. That thigh bone. But I'm one of those people that like to clean all the meat off my bones. I'm just saying. Everybody doesn't. Ooh, y'all, honey, just got a little food in me, take the edge off. That was super crunchy, just like I like it. So, you guys, let's get into it a little bit. I don't want to make the video too long and drawn out. You know, like keep me on for too long. But I feel like this particular topic is pretty important. We just are going to piggyback off of from other videos, and I talked about it, and that is mental health in specifically children. Don't get me wrong, mental health in everyone is very, very, very important. But I feel like if we as a people, as parents, grandparents, loved ones, whoever is responsible for another human being and is raising, that would be considered raising a child. I feel like we should be watching for these things, these signs, making sure that our children are, or should I say, are well in every aspect. Just like you would go to the hospital if they broke their leg. You'd go to the doctor and you'd be like, yo, you broke your leg, you can't walk on it, right? So you would go and get that done. A yearly checkup. Just like you would encourage them to brush their teeth at night. Just like you encourage them to get good grades. You know, those things. Anything and everything. And mental health is the same thing. Should be treated the same way. Oftentimes, so many children suffer in silence. And you never know. Even the parent right there in the same home doesn't know or care or just doesn't really pay attention. But us as parents, all colors, all nationalities, wherever you're from, I encourage you to tune in with your children. Sit down and have talks daily, every day. How you doing? How you feeling? How are things going? What'd you do today? Sometimes you'll get those children where, especially as they get older, I'm fine. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's bothering me. That's when you know to intervene. If you feel like, just so nonchalant and nothing's happened, you're not learning anything in school. Let me put it this way. I ask you how school's going. Oh, nothing. I ask you how you're doing, in classes with friends. I'm asking you about your homework. I'm asking you about housework. And you notice that your child, everything's running up and up. And the next day you open their bedroom door and they're hanging from the, I know sometimes it's hard to detect when and who. How do you know? How do we know, right? But what I want to urge every parent here to do, or caregiver, care provider, whatever, grandparents, aunts and uncles take care of children, whomever, check their mental health. Check for the signs. If you see that maybe they're wet in the bed, those ADHD, ADD, just being defiant, not listening to anything you're saying, constantly, if they're just not in their age appropriate line, should I say, and you realize that the rest of the kids are kind of, and your child is not so doesn't jump in, and these are things you watch for. Being reserved, wanting to stay in the room all day, sit and be alone in the dark. These are all things you watch for. Nobody's going to do a perfect job. But there are things that we can do as a people to try to eliminate some. It's not going to be all of it. Everybody doesn't see the signs. But I also think as parents, there's so much we want to ignore and sit behind us and say, oh, not my child, not my child. They couldn't be capable of that. Believe it. Anything's possible. It doesn't mean that you taught it to them, but they've learned it somewhere along the way. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's you. It doesn't necessarily make it your fault. It doesn't mean you failed as a parent. It doesn't mean you failed as a person. Because how did you know? But I am saying there is so much more I feel like we could get into and check after all these signs. If you see that your child is wetting the bed, and wetting the bed, and wetting the bed, and wetting the bed, why is it? Intervene. Is there something going on? Is it trauma in the home? Is it being bullied at school? You guys, we have to do better, whatever that looks like. If that means because a lot of kids, as they get older, they don't want you in their rooms. They're going to hide most things. But at some point in time, especially if I feel like a lot of times parents, they have a feeling. And we're more like, okay, that's their privacy. Right? But at some point in time, you have to invade their privacy. I feel like for their own protection. If you feel like something's going on, don't mean just go up in their room and just, no. But there are times when you can go in and see if, let me be honest with you. There are parents who support the transgendering at a young age. If your child you think your child can make that decision at that young age, there should be a lot of questions that you have behind it. I'm not saying everybody that's transgender struggles with mental health. Because some people are just that way, and that's just who they are. But there are often people that are afraid to come out. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying only transgenders have mental health issues. So please don't make that assumption, because that's not what I'm saying. I am just using that for an example. Those questions need to be asked. Why do you feel this way? Where have you seen this? You know, and allow them to be them and express that. Because nothing's worse than someone having to hide who they are. Next, why I say reach children. And adults, yes. But why I say get them now, at adolescence, young age, reach children, because that's the years that this all develops. From that birth, all the way up through, I say, 18, 19. You know, by 19, they pretty much know who they are. Before that. Of course, they don't know everything. They're young. But they know who they are. They know what they want to be. Who they want to be. By 19. And I feel like a lot of the times, we as parents have no idea. We're in the dark about our children's whole entire lives. They've been allowed to live a secret life in the same home that we all live in. You guys, I just want to know what everybody thinks about this topic. I know I'm kind of all over the place. But I want to know what you think and how you perceive it. These young kids, most of them that went into these schools and they shot them up, came from, I guess what you would consider privileged homes, middle class, upper class. Why did we allow our children, how did we allow our children to get hold of a backpack full of guns? The backpack's full of them. It's got ammo, hate tapes, all types of things to hurt someone. You never seen that? At no point did you ever... Sometimes I feel like we have an idea. So that's where I'm saying, reach them then. Because I feel like I just said before, sometimes we have an idea. Maybe parents are afraid to approach. Get somebody else involved then, you guys. Get some brothers, aunts, uncles, sisters, dads, moms, cousins, social workers, whatever you need to reach this child. Because most of the time there are signs. It's not something that just sneaks up on us and, oh, we didn't know. There are a lot of signs. A lot of drug use, binge drinking, pill popping. These are signs. If your teenagers in your home and they are drinking every day, smoking every day, and they have no intentions on doing anything to better themselves or their life, I'm sure you see it. You're living it. You're with them. It's not always easy, you guys. But nothing is. life isn't. For me, you, nobody. Right? But we have to, at some point in time, do our best to come in there and say, hey, what's in the backpack? I don't care. Open up the backpack. What's under the bed? It might save lives. I hope this makes sense to you guys. I'm not judging anyone. Nobody's perfect. I'm by far way beyond perfect. But I want to try to make a difference. We can't change the world, you guys, but we can make a difference in each and every one of our individual households. If we just change one thing, do one thing today to change tomorrow, and then do it again tomorrow. Do that thing tomorrow to change the next day. And repeat the process. And no, the world is a big place. You're not going to change the whole world, but you're going to make a difference. And you might save 2 students from getting shot. You might save 17 from being wounded. And then you, most importantly, might save the child that did the shooting. Or young adult, young man. Because most definitely were they hurting inside. Their mental health was suffering. And he was suffering in silence. Nobody paid attention. He threw out those signs. He showed them to someone. Even if we're a neighbor, we see it, you guys do what we can. And that's all you can do. You guys, this video has been longer than I expected it to be. Thanks for sticking around and sticking in there with me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Should I say share me? There's plenty of me to go around. And come back next time. More story time. Bye-bye.